Today, I want to talk a little bit about creativity and the need that we all have to do it. So, let's talk about that after the intro. Welcome to my journey of self discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life podcast. So in my corporate life, whenever I had a team, I have a series of rules. I call it the rules of the team, Dan's manager manifesto. I had actually done a podcast on it a long time ago. I may have to revise that one, revisit it. But one of the rules that is in that is to be creative. And it's usually the one that people have kind of the most like, what? It's like, I wasn't expecting that one. And it's in order for you to be an effective employee, an effective member of the team, you need to spend time being creative. And whether that's poetry, whether that's art, whether it's, playing with PowerPoint, right? One of the stories that I often tell is where I had to do a PowerPoint presentation for my VP, who was giving this presentation to leadership and needed this document that I was doing. So I did the PowerPoint, did the screenshots, and it was for an application that we were developing. And and I got it. I was done. Right. I had put all of the grids in that needed to be there. And it was the kind of thing where, it was like, here's this module, here's the high level overview, and then like 4 or 5 like really heavy detail, text heavy slides, and then the next module kind of thing. And so I was done, but I'm like, I want this to be cool. Right. I don't want it to just be done. I want it to be a little bit more. So I went back and I took probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour, to make it really nice. All the images were in exactly the same spot. So when you transition from slide to slide, there was no, didn't move, right? Make sure the text was clean, applying like little like shadow effects so that the images looked really good. I put in like a little hyperlink in one of the slides, so when you were at the end of the module overview, you could just either click the next button and go into the really heavily detailed slides, or knowing this was going for upper management, they probably didn't want to go into all of that detail. So there was a little hyperlink where you just click and it would just jump right to the next module. So it would bypass all of the 3 or 4 really heavy detail slides. So you didn't have to click, right? It was just basically I was playing with PowerPoint, right? But it was fun. And when I was done, I had a much better product that my, boss at the time really appreciated, right? But it was just, I was in a good mood that entire day because I'd done something creative. I'd put a little bit more Dan into the work, right? And I want you to find ways to be creative, to have that kind of creative outlet, whether it's at work, whether it's, at home. Perfect example. Tonight, I cooked dinner, and I've been one of the things that I like to do when I'm cooking, cleaning, that sort of stuff is I'll put on Chopped. It's the cooking competition show, just as kind of background noise. It's just fun, right? And so I was kind of inspired by that kind of thought where I did a really cool kind of very hot, meal. Yeah, it's like sesame-crusted tuna with a curried mashed potato and a small salad, and making sure that I got, I did the soy sauce and ginger reduction sauce for, just I just had fun. I spent probably an hour and a half in the kitchen today making this meal for my family. It was just fun. It was just fun. It wasn't work. It really wasn't. Um, another idea, right, is in my town we have painting with a twist. I know there's a number of places that are like that where you go in, they have, here's the painting that you're going to be doing. I went as a date night with my wife. You bring a bottle of wine, right? You drink wine and you make a painting together, right? It was fun. It was creative. I got to do, this painting that's on the wall in the kitchen. Yeah, my wife did it, so it was a fun bonding time for us, and it was a creative outlet. I got to play with paints and canvas, and I love that. Right? That's what makes life exciting and fun, and it's what life is about, right? It's creating those magic moments. And it's so easy to get caught up in the efficiency game where I'm trying to do as much as possible, and accomplish as much as possible. And it's accomplishment, it's setting our goals, it's making our New Year's resolutions, whatever, right? But it's all about achievement, and we have to spend time being and just enjoying ourselves and having fun, and something that's going to bring a little bit of positivity into the world, right? That's what my art is doing. It's one of the reasons why I like doing like this podcast. Even for me, this is in a way my art, right? you know um it's a way to express what's going on in my mind, in my world, and share it with you. Sometimes it's wonderful. Sometimes it's very pretty. Sometimes it's cringy, right? Sometimes the episodes hit. Sometimes they don't, right? But it's all about the creation. And one of the things that I remember, I read a book. I think it's Carolyn Mace, The Artist's Way. Um, the whole idea of art is not for someone else to like it. The whole idea of art is for you to enjoy the process. And so, one of the things that I've heard a number of times, so it was like, you ought to go to painting with a twist. And I'm like, oh, I'm not very good at painting. You missed the point. It's not about being good. It's the experience. It's being terrible and having fun anyway. That's what the creative process is. And that's what, creation is. That's what, like, with this podcast, there are days when it's not very good, right? And I kind of know, right? There are days I'm like, oh, that was just not a great episode. But it's, I can't remember who it was that said it, but you've got to be brave enough to be terrible at something long enough to get good, right? And so, so my admonition to you, my advice to you, is to find something that you just truly enjoy doing and be terrible at it for a while. Just do it. Have it fill your soul, right? That's what it's about. It's about making your soul flourish And that's not always about having, a photorealistic painting. It's not about having a perfectly like viral worthy poem or video or whatever. It's about the process of sharing your soul with the world, sharing your soul with yourself, allowing yourself to be transparent and to see who you really are. And you don't have to share it. You really don't. I mean, I would love to see some of the art that you do, but you don't have to share it. It's about you. It's about the process of doing it. That's what is beautiful about the artistic process and about being creative. Whatever your method of creativity is, maybe it's Legos. I used to make candles. Maybe it's making candles. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it's writing a book. I know several people who are writing fiction books. I don't know. What is it for you? And let me know. Comment, on this video. What are the creative things that you like to do? What would you do, if you money were not a problem, you won the lottery or whatever, right? Money was no longer an issue. What would you do just for the sheer joy of doing it? Share that with me. Share that with all of us. I'd love to know. All right. So be creative. Take the time to share your soul with the world. That is how we live our life to the third power. Till tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?